What's up, YouTube? Hope everyone is having an amazing day so far. And we're back with another supply and demand video. This will be part 3. Let me turn this off real quick. Okay, we are back with part 3. And this one, we are going to be talking about um, entries for supply and demand, your supply and demand basis for you know um, re- refining your entry in your supply and demand zones. So if we look at this chart right here that I made, um, it has the 4 types of bases that we will be looking at in today's lesson. And it's very simple. You're gonna have two continuous bases and two reversal bases, right? So with that being said, you'll have one that's going from bullish to bearish, and then one that's going bearish to bullish, like that. And then you'll have continuations, ones that you'll find in the trend. So for number 1 here, you're going to want to be buying. And we'll get into the, deeper of why you should be buying and selling on these. But number 2, you should be selling. Number 3 is also you should be looking for sells. And number 4, we will be looking for buying in demand zones, right? So let's look at this next slide here on these bases. Okay, so we have continuous bases. Let's do reversal bases first. So, basically it speaks for itself, right? So what we're going, you always want to trade in line with the trend, right? The trend is your friend, but um you also want to know as early as possible, um, as you can, and spotting a reversal as well, right? Because you know, in higher time frame, let's say like in a higher time frame, um, downtrend, right? Maybe we're going to spot when the reversal happened a lot sooner from a smaller time frame, if that makes sense. But anyways, in reversal basis, we have this drop base rally here. So what we'll see is price will be trading downwards, right? And then it will accumulate or hit a stopping point, and then rally. And where we want to enter is in the direction, you know, um, of that rally, that impulsive rally, breaking that structure, breaking out of that accumulation, right? And same with rally base drop, right? We'll be looking for sells on this area. So we'll be looking for sells in a supply zone, right? After you see distribution or when the market has reached a peak area and then you see that break of structure to the downside, right? So we'll be wanting to sell in that direction of that first drop, that initial drop that broke that structure or broke out of distribution. Okay. So now let's look at the continuous bases here. So for continuous bases, right, is pretty much what you're going to be looking for, after the reversal, right? You're going to be looking for these in the trend. Wasn't the greatest drawing, but I hope you understand, right? So let's say we have that, that initial reversal right here, okay? And let's say we miss that, which is completely fine, because if we miss this entry, right, at least now we have a sense of which direction the market could possibly be going in, and that could be to continue to the downside. So in the process of the downtrend, right, we'll run into these little bases, these little, sometimes it'll be just a buying candle, um, one buying candle, I should say, or sometimes it might be a consolidation area that the market has stopped at for a temporary amount of time. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be either, you know, like one candle that we're going to see and then a drop like that, one selling candle and then a impulse, right? So yeah, those are your four bases of supply and demand. You have your continuous basis right here and your reversal basis right here. And remember, this one is bullish or buying. We sell in supply zones, and buy in demand zones, right? Buy in demand zones. So now let's look at some charts here of these bases. I have some drawn out already on a couple pairs. So for GBP CAD, we're not going to go deep into these just because I have them drawn out already for you. But, we can see, right? So up here, oh, right up here, we have this area right here where the market had traded down. You see how it broke this low, right? So after the market had broke that low, that is kind of giving us extra confirmations of where the overall direction of the market um, might be wanting to go, right? So what do we wait for? That. We wait for price to trade back up into this reversal base that we see right here, right? It looks pretty identical. And we look to enter, right? Inside when price comes and, touches that base, trades inside that base, okay? Now, another one, right? There was, you could say there's continuous bases right here, right? Um, Now another reversal base all the way at the bottom here. So we see, price had traded all the way down and completely like flatlined right in here, right? completely flatlined. So why did it do that? What is it doing that for? It's thinking of reversing in price, reversing in sentiment. Okay. So we let the market do the work for us, right? We see this whole impulsive move up right here from this reversal base down here. Okay. So just as the rules applied up here, we don't change them down here. Okay. We don't change them down here. We wait for price to trade up and then trade back down into that area, into that base. Okay. Now here is something interesting because there's two different variations of continuous bases right next to each other. So this one, right, we have one that is one candle. This one right here is, one candle like we talked about in the beginning of the video. You're going to either see one candle, zoom in a little, you'll see one candle like this, or you'll see kind of a consolidated move like this, and then a buy back up, right? So you'll see that consolidation, impulse, correction, continuation, or you'll see a quick pullback and then continuation. Um, those are the two. Maybe there's more than two, but those are your two basic variations of continuous bases. Um, let's look at this UJ chart that I have already drawn out. Right, so I guess we can start to the left here. Um, Easy continuous bases. Uh, so we have price trading up, right, trading higher, and then on that third high right there, we have that break of market structure. Okay, so off that first, excuse me, off that first initial pullback, that base was um, also where the mitigation was from that base too. You see that next, you see that next bullish candle that mitigated out of this bullish candle, right? And then got engulfed. Well, there's two continuous bases right in a row, right? So this would be a drop, right? Drop in price, a base, and then a drop, right? So, and then another one, drop, base, drop, right? And what happens? Price, drop and made its way back right here. Okay, so we moving on here, all the way down here, right? This reversal base right here, you could say, I can zoom in, right? We see that impulse of a buy right there, right? But we are doing this lesson on the monthly time frame. So we got to understand like this right here is clearly a break of structure on the lower time frame. Okay? That is clearly a break of structure right there on lower time frames. You can see this impulsive buy up for this month and the next month, right? And then price started to trade back into that base, and also resulting in a huge impulse um up, also giving us another opportunity here, right, for a continuous base, that rally base, rally right here, rally base, rally, right? And then we enter off the mitigation of the previous base. Okay, right? So here is a reversal base again up here, right? And what defies this as a reversal base? Why is this a reversal base? Well, what we look for is not only where impulses are at, but what they have gone through in the left, from the left, right, from history, right? So we see this impulse all the way to the downside, right? Or shot to the downside, which normally wouldn't mean anything in a sense, um, if, um, depending on where we were at in the market. But, considering that this looks like a break of structure right here, right? How it's broken through this structure here, we can ultimately say now that we could possibly be bearish, right? So that's where this entry would have came into play right here on that reversal base. Um, and here is just a fun little continuous base right here, this drop base, drop price had traded back up into that area. And you can see when we zoom in here, right? And we are on the monthly, so the pips are, you know, 650 plus potential pips on that. So that's actually really good. Um, I think let's go look at one more pair here. Let's look at Euro AUD. Right, so this one is free, right? So let's look at the, you always want to look, from the first videos, right? We talked about how the banks always want to buy lower and sell higher than everyone else, right? So you got to understand, like, when we see major reversals, like, right, when we see major reversal points in the market, and if you don't understand major reversal points, you can actually go and check out a video I did a while back, um a reversal series, actually, kind of like this supply and demand series, just on reversals. um and also, um I am going to be making a new reversal series in the future as well. So that one should be fun. But anyway, um, we're going to look at, major reversal points, right? Like this area, this area up here, down here. You get it, and points that have turned around in the market, right? So let's look at this one right here. So we see that price, right, the market had been trading downwards, okay? And then all of a sudden we get this big old buying impulse, okay? So ultimately, what we want to do, we don't want to enter here, or enter out of fear and enter late in the trade, right? We always want the trade to come back to us. Trade on the beach, not out, not out in the ocean. Trade out on the beaches, right? And actually right away, back to back, right? See how price had traded down and mitigated out of this reversal base? I think if we go to a line chart, right, there is another base right here, right, that can actually be really refined. So right in here, right, see how price had traded above this high. Right here, we got a break of this structure right here. And then we found another entry in that base, or in that mitigation of the base right there. We can look at a bearish scenario now. Okay, so matter of fact, right here, see how price had traded up and we reached this peak high and traded back down, right? We got out of this area up here really fast, okay? So we can use this drop right here and then this base, right? And then this drop prior to the base, right? Okay, cool. So we had opportunities, you know, in this, we had opportunities in this area ultimately, right? So that was cool. Now, how can I capitalize off the mitigation of that base there? Well, see, we see the direction and price, right? After this impulse here, ultimately, right? We got a break of structure right there and also right here. You can see right there, price had broken that previous low. Okay, so that can give us confirmation that we are possibly bearish, right? So where is the base in this structure from that impulse, right? It's right there, okay? And that would be our continuous base. And we have reversal base down here. All right, so yeah, that was a short, um, I guess not too short, but it was a pretty quick lesson on, part 3 of the supply and demand series. I'm having, um, I'm having fun putting this series together, and I hope you guys are enjoying the videos as well. If you guys have been, learning from my videos and enjoying the videos that we have been putting out, um, leave a like on the video, subscribe, leave a comment even for me down there. Ask me any questions that you have. I love, interacting with you guys and, you know, hearing your questions and giving you responses back because, when you guys ask questions too, maybe it could have been a question that someone else um, was wanting to ask, or maybe is you know too I don't want to say too scared, but scared to get out of their comfort zone and ask um questions, right? So yeah, leave a comment down below, and I hope you guys are enjoying this um supply and demand series. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. And I hope everyone has an amazing rest of their day, and peace out.